The Ever So Lean podcast.
Extra!
You know it makes sense.
Welcome to Ever So Lean Extra, where we serve up an extra dose of excellence. I'm Matt Sims, and I'll be your host as we dive deep into the heart of the UK Excellence Awards. In Season 1, we're immersing ourselves in the prestigious British Quality Foundation as we look inside the UK Excellence Awards, an event that epitomises innovation, quality and sheer excellence on a monumental scale. Imagine a platform where industry leaders, influencers and visionaries converge to celebrate the pinnacle of achievement in business. But we're not just spectators, we're rolling up our sleeves and diving headfirst into each award category. From the judges who meticulously study every submission to the sponsors who lend their support, from the finalists who embody excellence to the winners who stand triumphant. We'll hear from them all. Why do they get involved and what secrets do they hold for achieving excellence? It's all here on Ever So Lean Extra as we uncover the stories behind the glitz and glamour, delving deep into the minds of those who make this event truly spectacular. Picture this, Wembley Stadium, Thursday the 27th of March 2025, because that's where we're heading for the next awards. The UK Excellence Awards are the Oscars of the business world, a star-studded affair buzzing with innovation and inspiration. It's where brilliance meets recognition, where hard work meets its well-deserved spotlight. Ever So Lean Extra is your inside scoop to the most prestigious event in the business calendar. Welcome to Ever So Lean Extra, where excellence really does take centre stage. In this episode, we'll shine a spotlight on the Excellence in Lean Six Sigma award category. We'll explore what makes this category so significant and hear from key figures who have been part of its journey. I'm thrilled to welcome back Martin Brennig-Jones from Catalyst Consulting Limited, long-time sponsors of the Excellence in Lean Six Sigma category. Martin will share insights into the trends he's observed and explain why the UK Excellence Awards and Catalyst Consulting are so closely aligned. Then later on, we'll meet the 2023 winner, Helios Towers, with Alan Fairburn joining us to discuss their award-winning work and the impactful initiatives Helios Towers are implementing across the globe. But first, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Pepper Clayton-Fisher from the British Heart Foundation. With a rich history of excellence, the British Heart Foundation won the award in 2022, and Pepper transitioned from winner to judge in 2023. There's so much to learn from Pepper's experiences, so let's give her an extra warm welcome.
The Ever So Lean podcast.
Extra!
You know it makes sense. Thank you. It's really lovely to be here, and I'm a judge for this year's as well. Keeping that connection.
You're a pro. You're someone to know then.
I've definitely done some of this before, and it's really lovely to be involved with British Quality Foundation because they're such a great organisation and they do a lot for the charity sector as well.
So having done it now for 3 years, 2 years, it will be 2 years as a judge, 1 year as a winner. I presume you didn't judge yourself that first year.
No, they don't let you do that for some reason.
I wonder why. That would be interesting,
right?
Wouldn't it? So what are some of the things that you've learned from being on that judging panel? And what are some of the really interesting things that you've seen from applicants, I guess, across the 2 years?
So one of the main things that I learned was the real versatility of Lean Six Sigma and the tools that are included in that toolkit. The contexts for the applicants were very different. There was not-for-profit, there was infrastructure projects, lots of health projects and retail context as well, and both within and outside of the UK. And all of them were giving power to their activities via Lean Six Sigma. So it was really great to see how Lean can be used to change that organisational culture and do training and benefits monitoring on a really large scale, as well as some of those smaller projects as well. Just seeing all the great examples of how to use Lean Six Sigma and DMAIC to bring structure to improvements and the real value of that structure and framework. So rather than having people try to implement improvement without a model or without support, it was really great to see how it was used in those different contexts to give people that structure and to empower people to really make things better.
It must be great to see, because so often when I talk to people, they jump to the conclusion that Lean Six Sigma is for complex, large-scale projects. They forget that you can use it for the medium and the smaller ones as well. So to see some of those examples must be quite refreshing.
Yeah, it was lovely to see the different approaches, and some of the things were more sort of traditional, small, incremental changes using that more agile approach, but also seeing it used at a strategic level for some really complex problems. That was really thought-provoking, because it's nice to see it used at both levels, as you say, and just to see that versatility of how it can really help organisations be the best that they can be.
When you was on the judging panel then, the judging panel is a really interesting dynamic, because it's made up of people of such different backgrounds, but all with great knowledge in Six Sigma. How did that dynamic work when you were trying to pick the winner? Was it challenging?
I think there was lots of agreement about the scoring, but also some really good challenging conversations about why we thought that one had scored higher or lower than another one. And also, it was really interesting to hear about the background from the different judges as well. So coming from a charity myself, seeing what that meant for some of the other charity applicants and how people thought about that versus the business ones, that was really interesting too. So it wasn't a big sort of disagreement. We were mainly aligned in our thinking about the strengths and weaknesses of some of the submissions, but it was great to see those different perspectives as well.
And did your perspective as a previous winner, did that sort of change how you thought about it as you was judging?
To some extent, I was so the way that I had used it was very much around on a particular project. So I was looking for sort of project metrics and that real strong structure, because that was the strength that I brought to my submission, I think. But then the one that actually won in the end was a much more strategic approach, where they were training people across the whole organisation. It was about operations that were in Africa, so incredibly different to how it's done, and very different context and very different size as well. So yes, it definitely allowed me to look for different things in terms of what I was looking out for in a strong submission. But it certainly wasn't like for like. It was a very different context that we were talking about.
I guess that's what makes it so special, isn't it? That they are so different, yet they're using the same logic.
Yeah, and it really shows that ability for Lean Six Sigma to be used anywhere. It's often seen very much for manufacturing. People think of production lines, and this really shows that isn't true. It can bring value, it can help to empower people, and it can be fun as well. Some of the projects, you could see how the staff had really valued the fact that they were able to get involved, that it was a really inclusive and engaging environment, and that's what we try to build at the BHF as well when people are working with the continuous improvement team.
You know what, you've intrigued me. I'm going to catch you on the hop now, because I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question. But at the BHF, how do you use Six Sigma then? What sort of projects do you do?
So we use Lean Six Sigma with a number of different projects. So we have practitioners in each of our different directorates. So we've been working hard in our medical directorate, for example, to look at how we can make the processes easier for people to sign up for our CPR training tool, which is an app called Reviver, and also how people can sign up defibrillators and use those processes to sign up where their local defibrillator is, so that the ambulance crews can then direct people to do that using our national database, which is called the Circuit. So we've been working on that recently. We've also done projects around our volunteer recruitment process, and lots of work in our eBay warehouse, which is where all of our online retail operations are as well. So lots of different contexts across the whole organisation.
What great evidence that it's not just production lines in a factory where you can use this. Like, that's a really good example of chalk and cheese. It's amazing. Fascinating.
Yeah, so we use it for a lot of custom-focused work as well, internal and external customers. It's a really great way of framing to people how the improvements will give impact, and then measuring that impact as well. So whether that's increase in fundraising or decrease in costs, or more valued use of staff time or volunteer time, we always try to show that value and show the value of using Lean, because it gives such a great toolkit and such a great methodology and structure around those improvements.
And with both hats on, previous winner and as a judge, what would be your one piece of key advice that you would give to somebody who's listening now who's thinking, shall I enter? Is my entry up to it? What would you say to them?
I think I would say it's always worth entering. It's always worth giving it a go. The standard is very high, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't showcase what you're working on. And basically just use the information that is available to you. So there's past winners talking about their projects. There's judging criteria that is all published. The form itself takes you through exactly what you need to fill in and where and how. And just use it as a chance across your organisation, whether you are shortlisted or not, to celebrate excellence in your organisation and to really celebrate something that you've done that you're proud of, that you want to share with others.
Amazing advice. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate your advice. Amazing.
Thanks so much for having me.
Really lovely to meet Pepper, and I was particularly excited about this meeting because of when you think about Lean Six Sigma and continuous improvement, you don't necessarily think straight away of charities like the British Heart Foundation. So hearing how they're using Lean Six Sigma to improve their processes and improve their customer service is absolutely brilliant. I love it. It's so exciting. And what a great journey to be on as well. Going from winner to judge really gives Pepper that rounded view and enables her to really put herself in the position of the people that are entering. So she knows the emotions they're going through. She knows the nerves. She's been there. She's felt it. So to be able to be a judge and understand that and show that empathy and then really understand what's happening in those organisations through her experience is amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Now, on the subject of experience, let's jump over to Martin Brennig-Jones from Catalyst Consulting. So Catalyst Consulting have been long-running sponsors of the Excellence in Lean Six Sigma Award for as long as I can remember. And I asked him, why do the folks at Catalyst Consulting provide sponsorship and what makes this category in particular so important to them?
So this category is perfect for us, isn't it? Lean Six Sigma. I mean, the history of Catalyst goes all the way back with, going back into Six Sigma, Lean, coming together, Lean Six Sigma. We've been there all the way through. And it's just in our DNA, really, I suppose. Although we do other things as well, apart from Lean Six Sigma, very much so. But Lean Six Sigma is such an important subject. And it's great as well. It's great fun. So we really love sponsoring it because we like to see, those award winners up on stage and learn from those award winners and what they're doing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And, obviously working with the BQF, British Quality Foundation, and the certification and all that kind of stuff, is very much part and parcel of, what we're doing in Catalyst. So it's the natural one for us. Well, why wouldn't we do that? We have to, really. It's just brilliant.
It fits well. It'd be very strange if you didn't do it. Can you imagine someone else sponsoring that award? It feels so odd.
What?
What are some of the trends that you're seeing in this area? Having done it for a number of years, you must start to see patterns and trends forming.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, actually. There certainly are. And I think the trends are that, we're seeing a lot more organizations coming from service and transactional areas than we used to do. Once upon a time, I suppose, you kind of think Lean Six Sigma, isn't that a manufacturing thing? But absolutely, yes, it is. But it's a lot more than that now. And I mean, fascinating to see the trend in terms of, for example, public sector organizations who are getting more and more involved, local authorities, central government. And I think it's also the coming together of kind of Lean and Six Sigma. Some organizations may have started off on Lean and have come to a bit of a dead end. And they're thinking, where do we go now? So Lean Six Sigma, in the way that we do it, I think is very practical, very real. And it brings together such a good load of different tools and techniques and methods and approaches and really an overall philosophy. And as Lean Six Sigma has developed over the years, it's bringing in other things from other areas as well, like obviously around change, around people, around agile, design thinking. So nowadays, it almost doesn't really cover the description when you get into it. And particularly when you look at things like, the business black belt that we run, it's covering such a wide range of different methods and approaches to help people. I mean, I think it helps people in their individual lives, just going on training. People come off that and say, that was the most useful thing I've done. It's really helpful in my day-to-day stuff. It's also really good for running improvement projects, of course, but it's also really good for the organizations that those people are working with, because when you do this stuff, you get real benefits, real tangible, measurable benefits coming through from it. So it's a kind of win-win-win, really. Yeah, it's really good. What was the question?
You answered the question. You're all good. With the business black belt that you mentioned just then, since that's come along, have you had anybody who's participated in that, any organisations enter yet under this award with the business black belt behind them?
We've had people who have done business black belt, in their organisations who are applying for this award. But not. I mean, it's usually part of a bigger picture, So when by the time you get to apply for this award, you've probably done quite a lot of different things, but I think it's definitely the right direction, and people are starting to apply a wider range of tools and techniques than they would have done previously as a result of going on the business black belt training.
It must be brilliant to have people that you've coached and guided from sort of maybe from ground zero, then they come through and then they enter an award like this, and then to get to be a finalist. This must be, wow.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'd love them all to be trained by us, but they're not. There are different, and a lot of organisations, they're all doing it themselves, now as well. So, but I mean, what we want to see is, I think another reason why it's great to be in with this is that we want to see the approach being adopted more and more widely across more and more organisations, and more people opening their eyes and thinking, wow, this is amazing stuff. But it is great, actually, when you've seen people, I've got examples of people that, you've met on maybe in a yellow belt course. So you did a 2-day yellow belt course, and then you follow their careers as they go through. And I mean, one thing's for sure, it's pretty good for your career development, actually, doing this kind of stuff, because the people who were saying this on a call earlier on, actually, with the clients, you do this kind of stuff, and it really helps you to be able to think in a way which is really getting you ready for senior executive positions, actually, because you've got that kind of mindset. You're inquiring, you're curious, you're analytical, you understand data, you understand people, and all those things, which are really important, really, when it comes to, developing leaders of the future. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Why choose to support the UK Excellence Awards specifically? Why not some other Janet and John Awards down the road?
I've got nothing to say about that.
That's the answer we need.
I mean, honestly, what other awards? It is the British Quality Foundation. It's they have a fantastic reputation. It has huge kudos in the business world. There's no doubt about that. It's not every award ceremony. Often, I mean, I've been to so many over the years that you get royalty turning up, actually, which we have had, as you know, on many occasions. Literally. That's right. Literally. So it really is it's even better than the Oscars, really, isn't it?
It is in this profession. Absolutely.
It is in this profession. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So, I think the BQF is great. I would say that anyway, because I've been kind of linked into it. And I was very honoured at the last award ceremony to get that award to be an ambassador myself, which really was quite stunning.
Yes, you've been knighted.
Yeah, I felt like it. I must be, I don't know, but it was great. But I think the BQF is it's interesting. It's good because it's promoting this kind of approach. It's providing a very strong, the accreditation of the Lean Six Sigma is a very important thing that it does, actually, because it's a bit of like the Wild West out there otherwise, because people say, I've done green belt, I've done black belt. Have you really? Have you gone through that BQF certification process? That is pretty rigorous, actually. So when people get to the end of it, that's something really to be proud of and to put onto their CV and all the rest of it. And employers know that as well, that, you haven't just done this and just been on a course. You've done a lot more than that as well. You prove that you can do this stuff in reality. So I think that's great. And all that really comes together, under the BQF heading. So, and that's the celebration. That's why people, when they come to the event, they have a really good time and they celebrate it, as you know.
I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about. He's alluding to the fact that we celebrated in style at the 2023 awards. And, drinks were had. Everyone was in high spirits. It was a very good evening, I must say. And the 2025 edition is going to be even better because it's at Wembley Stadium. It's just absolutely brilliant. It just doesn't get any better than that. And you can be there. You can be there as an award nominee, or you could just be there to get your organisation out amongst fellow people that are doing excellent things. bqf.org.uk is the website. Check it out. Everything you need to know about the awards and the night itself is on there. And Martin was talking really interestingly about what he's observed in Lean Six Sigma over the last couple of years. And it's really interesting to see how what Lean Six Sigma is morphing and developing. It's becoming agile in the meaning that it's blending and sculpting itself to fit with modern organisations. And the Business Black Belt is an excellent qualification that really does provide the participant with skills and knowledge to implement Lean and Six Sigma within an organisation. Check out catalystconsulting.co.uk to find out how you can get involved in that. And their certifications are BQF accredited. Doesn't get any bigger than a BQF accreditation, so check it out. So now we've got one more person to talk to, and that will be the winner, Helios Towers Excellence in Lean Six Sigma 2023. Now, they had an outstanding awards, really, because they were finalists in Excellence in Project Delivery Infrastructure. They were finalists in Transformation Excellence, and obviously they landed the Excellence in Lean Six Sigma award themselves. It's incredible recognition for Helios Towers and the excellent work what they are doing. Now, if you haven't heard about Helios Towers before, you're going to love this. I asked Alan what brings them to enter the UK Excellence Awards and what makes them so special.
Yeah, for myself and Helios Towers, we took the decision to enter these 3 awards for a few reasons, but one of the main one was we wanted to really learn from the past within Helios Towers. Our Lean Six Sigma journey and transformational journey started back in 2015, but over that period, we've had a number of new colleagues, we've acquired new markets, we've got some new assets on the portfolio, and we wanted to really take stock of where we are at this point and learn from the past, learn from our colleagues that are perhaps left the business, and also learn from new colleagues. So we really chose to enter these awards to really formalise what's happened in the past and use that as a sort of benchmark for where we're going over the next few years.
So why did you decide to enter the UK Excellence Awards, and how has it helped with the work that you're doing?
A huge shout out has to go from Susanna at PMI, who have really been responsible for helping us deliver our Lean Six Sigma content over the last sort of 10 years. And she encouraged us to apply. So thank you, Susanna. And through discussions with her, we sort of realised that what we were doing is quite unique in the markets that we operate, and also more broadly versus other sectors.
I'm really looking forward to getting into some of the nitty-gritty about your entry. And to that note then, can you give us an overview of the projects that you've been doing and sort of the work that you're doing and how excellent it actually is?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So first of all, Helios Towers, we are a telecommunications infrastructure company. And what that means is we own around 14,000 telecommunications towers across 9 markets, 8 of which are in Africa and 1 in the Middle East in Oman. And these towers, we contract with mobile network operators who put their active equipment at the top of our towers, and that signal then radiates across the sort of geography, and end users would be like you or I, or someone using a mobile phone or a mobile device, and it allows them to connect to the internet through their mobile device. And what Helios Towers does, we own and operate the infrastructure. We contract with the mobile network operators, and there are significant challenges in some of the markets that we operate in Africa and the Middle East. These are huge geographies. The land mass of the markets that we're in is 1.5 times larger than that of the EU.
Wow.
And that's only in 9 countries. So there are some significant challenges, and then that's where we apply our Lean Six Sigma methodologies.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a huge reach.
It's a huge geography and a huge population covering over 300 million people in these markets.
So are you competing with like Elon Musk and his Starlink stuff?
So satellite, we sort of track satellites closely and companies that offer satellite sort of telecommunications. And we don't believe it's a threat to our business at this stage, and can complement our business at some stage. And it's something we discuss and investigate thoroughly sort of each year.
Oh, very interesting. So are you planning to enter next year? Have you got a project in mind?
I'm sure we will enter next year, but I'm going to definitely, I coordinated a lot of these 3 applications, so it'll be definitely the chance for other people to sort of coordinate the applications, because it's quite time consuming and very rewarding. So it'll be a good opportunity for others next year.
I find it's quite nice sometimes to be able to sit down. I know it's quite detailed, the entries that you submit, but the time spent doing it's really nice to reflect and be able to celebrate what you've done, because sometimes that gets forgotten. And it's also quite nice, in my view, that BQF is so thorough, it makes winning an award so prestigious.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We used it actually as for exactly that. We used it as a mechanism for not only celebrating success, but also thinking about the challenges that we've had and also celebrating the diversity that we've got within Helios Towers, be it gender diversity or, where people are from within the organisation and how people have really developed through what we've achieved as a Lean Six Sigma organisation. People have really developed and evolved their careers from accountants, and some examples we've got accountants that have become managing directors, leading their businesses, and other examples that are similar. So, yeah, we really used it as a celebrating diversity in all ways.
What was the reaction of the team when they realised that they'd won Excellence in Lean Six Sigma? I mean, that's quite some award.
Yeah, so we brought, we had a table of 10 at the awards, and we brought colleagues from Congo Brazzaville, from Tanzania, some colleagues from London, and yeah, we celebrated that evening. We were shocked to win, and we were delighted to be shortlisted, and we connected with a number of organisations on the evening, and hearing some of the stories was really inspiring. So we were really, really delighted to win the Lean Six Sigma award.
Brilliant. Well, you are the reigning champions. You need to come back and defend your title next year. See if you can do a Man City. Can you do the double or the treble?
Well, my colleague Wakisa Stadi, who was instrumental in the application, he's actually going to be on the panel for the Lean Six Sigma Award next year. So we definitely cannot win that award again. So, but he's really looking forward to being part of that process.
Oh, fantastic. Well, congratulations. Absolutely awesome. And well done making the finalists as well of the other two, because project delivery and transformation excellence, to be a finalist is an achievement in itself.
Thank you very much.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Ever So Lean Extra. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of the UK Excellence Awards. To learn more about the UK Excellence Awards and what it means to be a BQF member, visit www.bqf.org.uk. Don't forget, you can catch more episodes of the Ever So Lean podcast on all major platforms or at eversolean.com. Whether you're seeking insights into leadership, continuous improvement, or simply looking to be inspired, we've got you covered. Until next time, stay excellent. Ever So Lean Extra is researched, recorded and produced by Matt Sims. Visit eversolean.com to find out more.
The Ever So Lean podcast.
Extra!
You know it makes sense.